Welcome everyone. I appreciate everyone that's hopping on today, whether, if you're down here in Texas or you're, parts of the other world, here in the States. We appreciate you guys hopping on. Like Jeff said, my name is Taylor May. I'm the regional sales manager for Anyvision, based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I've been with the company over a year and a half now. We also have Mr. Dave Clark and Nate Krimmel. Dave Clark is our senior lead field engineer for the United States. He's been here a little bit longer than I am. He's based out of Boulder, as well as Nate. He's based out of the Colorado area as well. So very excited to be on this call with everyone. I'm a big fan of RS2. My father, if you guys know him, Scott May, he actually is one of the RSMs down in Texas as well. So I know the platform really well. We have a great integration with RS2's platform, and I'm excited to even kind of entertain and promote our product with RS2 as kind of that holistic package that you guys can now bring to your end users and your certain kind of verticals. So I'm going to go kind of walk through this PowerPoint presentation. I'm not really a PowerPoint guy, but trust me, I do have a lot of fun videos in this PowerPoint that I'm going to speak about. But the first thing I always speak about when I talk about Anyvision, I've been fortunate to be pretty successful at this company. I've kind of grown my region from nothing to now over $1 million in just a short period of time, over a year. And I don't say that to be cocky or conceited, but to let you guys know the technology works. And the first thing I want to tell people about Anyvision is Israeli-based AI computer vision company. But, to really break it down and take it one step deeper, if you guys are not familiar with Israelis, they are aggressive. They honestly know how to get things done. And spending some time over there in Israel for the last, year and a half, and kind of to see everything in action and seeing our development team, our research and development team kind of develop this software it's been very special. So how I really compare that to, for those that do know me, I played Division I football at Oklahoma State University. I was a walk-on defensive end. Wasn't really recruited out of high school too much, but I felt I could take my my capabilities and my abilities to OSU at the Division I level. So when I talk about Anyvision, I refer to the Israeli mentality, that kind of go big or go home approach. And I always show this video. And what this video is going to show you is the defensive end, right? Our one true goal is to get to the quarterback. As you guys probably are aware, I'm going against a scholarship player. This is the first day of with shoulder pads on, so first day with actual pads on. I'm going against an offensive lineman. He's a scholarship player. He's weighing in about 315 pounds. He's 6'6", 6'7". I'm coming in as a freshman at 6'4", 245. So you can see that disadvantage right there. But the way I approach my customers, my partners, is you're always going to get 110% effort from me. That's just myself kind of DNA. And I'm not here to, waste people's time. I'm not here to BS anyone. I want to get this point across right now because the technology that I bring to you right now is something that's going to work today, tomorrow, and forever, essentially. So this video is going to show you a quick little synopsis of our pass rush drill here at OSU. Like I said, my one goal is to get past the offensive lineman, and you can see with this video that I'm taking my time, and I'm actually going against this guy that's a scholarship player and want to make myself a part of the team. So really, as a walk-on, our goal is to make the team, right? So this is my one chance to kind of prove that I do belong at this level, etc. So like I said, I'm not trying to be cocky or conceited, but kind of set that tone that what I'm bringing to the table right now is something that you guys are all going to be successful at and bring to your customers. So just a fun video. If you guys are football fans, I played at OSU for a couple years. Was fortunate to win a Big 12 championship back in 2011. Played in the BCS Fiesta Bowl against Stanford, won that game. So played in the Cotton Bowl. Just had a lot of fun at the Division I level, and kind of that competitive nature comes from playing football at the college level. So got my undergrad there. Shortly after that, I got my master's degree here in the University of Dallas, here in Irving, Texas. So I do have an MBA degree as well. I have been in the industry for just about 5 or 6 years now. And this is probably the most fun I've ever had, in the industry itself. So, like I said, Anyvision, Israeli-based AI computer vision manufacturer. We are still privately owned. We are very well funded too. A little over $100 billion in funding that our company has, and we have a team of 40 PhDs on our research and development team that actually wrote and developed our software. So I say those two things not to stress the point I'm not trying to be cocky or conceited, but to kind of let you guys know we have the right capital in place as well as the right infrastructure in place when it comes to people. Those are two important things about our company and why this technology is special. Now I'm going to touch base on, why RS2. I'm sure most of you guys know why RS2 is so special and why I think they're a market leader, honestly, in our industry. Just a couple key highlights about RS2 that I appreciate and I know, just not from my father's experience, but just being in the industry myself. They're a top 3 Mercury partner, right? That's legend, right? I think Mercury's open architecture platform provides a lot of valuable, assets to RS2 systems. So I think it's a key component. Probably the next biggest one is total cost of ownership, right? No other manufacturer in this industry is going to have the best cost of ownership than RS2. That's a straight point right there. I'm going to put that on the line against any other manufacturer in this industry. My job is not to sell RS2. My job is not to sell access control. My job is to sell Anyvision. But from an outside perspective and an outside view, this is the best platform when it comes to savings, when it comes to acquisition cost. We all know about their dealer channel, right? Dealer channel is very special. You guys have a very competitive advantage with RS2's dealer channel. It's very proactive. It's very intuitive. You have RS2 University, a lot of resources and tools that Jeff and his team has put on for you guys at the dealer channel level. And the last point is it's an autonomous solution, right? It's an unknown solution. This is a platform that can essentially run in the background for any kind of end user, any kind of client. And that's kind of what end users want. They want a system where they don't have to deal with on a daily basis. They have to interact with on a daily basis. They only want to have a solution, or they only want to have a solution that if something goes wrong for whatever reason, they have to physically get involved with. So autonomous solution is what I really appreciate about RS2 because it's something that we also do here at Anyvision. And I'm going to touch base now on why Anyvision. We are the industry leader in AI and facial recognition. And I know you guys are probably like, Taylor, I don't believe you. You're full of it, right? And I'm going to show you a couple of videos of why we're an industry leader. We take a different approach to the market. We spent a tremendous amount of time of R&D before we even introduced our technology to the market, which is why it's special. So we're only about 3 years old here in the States. I joined the company a year and a half ago where no one knew what Anyvision was in the South. Shortly after that, I'm working with spans of verticals and clients that I'm going to show a couple of videos about. So another key point, infrastructure agnostic. So camera agnostic, video management system, VMS agnostic, access control agnostic. We are a plug and play solution that will work with any kind of existing infrastructure. And I can't stress that enough because going to the old concept of facial recognition, right? You always had to have a special camera. You always had to have a camera looking right at you to identify and recognize the face. We go to an end user and we tell them we don't care where your camera is. Obviously, if it's 25 feet high, that's not really ideal for facial recognition. But majority of the time, we're going to be able to tell an end user, hey, let's just plug and play with what you got. We can use what you guys have. We can pick up people in the wild, sunglasses, hats, hoodies, masks, different ethnicities, twins, identical twins. There's all different kinds of feature sets in our software that makes it special, and the accuracy is the biggest selling point. Proven track record. I say that because I've built my region pretty successful. So guys like the New Orleans Saints and Pelicans are using our software. British Petroleum BP down in Houston is using our software. Mercedes-Benz in Fort Worth is using our software. We have a lot of NBA teams. We have a lot of Fortune 500 clients in the retail sector that are using our software. I have a lot of school districts in Texas that are using our software, even some universities as well. So like I said, this software kind of plays Intel with a bunch of different verticals that you guys can utilize with us. And once again, it's an autonomous solution. Our software is built to run in the background, something you're not going to see, not a physical piece of evidence that you're going to see on a daily basis. It's only going to alert you when there's actually an alert or a crime or something you want to be on the lookout for. So completely autonomous solution, which kind of entails with RS2. These are two solutions that can run completely side by side to one another, completely integrated with one another, and something you don't have to worry about on a daily basis. Last thing I'll say, I can't stress this enough. Stay in your lane is the biggest motto of my presentation. RS2 does a great job of staying in their lane because a lot of manufacturers in this industry say they can do this or they can do that. That's not what it's about. We have one manufacturer that's really good at focusing on their lane and focusing on a full platform of access control. RS2 is the answer. Same thing with Anyvision. We're not trying to do everything. Obviously, we have integrations and a partner list we integrate and interact with, but we're not trying to be the one-stop shop, right? And I'm not trying to derail any manufacturer in this industry, but we have a lot of guys in this industry that overpromise, underdeliver, That's just not who I am. I want to tell you up front, I don't have time to waste, essentially. So you hear a lot of passion in my voice. So I promise you, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just letting you guys know that what I've done in the short period of time I've been here at Anyvision is build a channel and build a book of business that respect what I bring to the table, respect what I bring to my end users, because I know I'm going to be completely transparent, honest, and deliver a solution that's going to really make a difference in their environment. So that's my little promotion right there, right? So first product, I'm not going to touch base on this too much. Better Tomorrow. This is our flagship product. This is our automated identity alerting tool. This is our facial recognition piece. I'm not really going to touch base on this because it's not really important for this this webinar. So obviously access control is, but a couple videos to entail this with. This is our kind of our coral central neural net. Excuse me. And the first couple videos I want to show you is the important thing to say. This is our neural net can be used obviously for blacklist, whitelist, automated watch list alerting, but then also the access control piece. So same core engine, same functionality, but things like sunglasses, hats, and hoodies, things of that nature. So here's me walking into the house wearing a hat, sunglasses, and a scarf on my head. It's saying this is tailor-made. So disguised faces, this is not Apple face recognition. This is a very proprietary Israeli algorithm that we've built on the back end when we deliver this to the market. So as great as this is, like I said, it gives us a lot of flexibility when we're talking about real world scenarios, real world environments. So just another fun example to show you guys. Next video I want to show you is actually of my father, Scott May. So let's talk about age different photos, right? Maybe you have an age different photo. Maybe you have a 25-year-old photo of someone, and that's the best you guys have. You don't have an updated photo. You don't have a current social media photo. What I can do in our software is I can take a 1980 photo of my father, use that as a reference photo, tell someone to walk up today. And what you're seeing right here, I'm going to pause this. This is a 1980 photo of my father from high school. Look at that mustache, man. That's a pretty sweet mustache, right? Look on the right-hand side. That's today. We picked him up today wearing sunglasses. This is the power of our technology. There's no other manufacturer that can do this right now. And if they even try to do this, frankly. So this is kind of what makes us different. Being able to take, existing old photos like that, being able to pick up people today. So you can imagine all the casinos we work with in Oklahoma and Vegas, all they have are these 10 to 15-year-old photos of card counters, advantage players, even warrants and felons, and that's the best they have. And our software is able to apprehend and recognize these people left and right. So the apprehensions for them is crazy right now with our software. And then the last video of Better Tomorrow this is a fun video. When I stress the point of being infrastructure agnostic, I can actually hook up to a drone. So I'm taking up to a drone camera. I'm flying the drone with a moving boat, so a moving vehicle, right? And what I'm doing is I can pick it up my face and pick up a detection using that. So you'll see a green box on my face. It might be kind of hard to read, but there's going to be a green box on my face. I'm going to play this back so you guys can see. But just like that, it's picking me up. So really, all we really need to actually pick up and detect someone is 40 pixels. So think about 40 pixels, guys. Very low resolution, not really optimal, but we're able to use that kind of functionality when it comes to actually picking up people and detecting people. So I always stress that movie, Angel Has Fallen, right? If you guys have seen that movie, they got drones in that movie. They're using facial recognition. It's a little overdone, right? It's not really real world, but this is as close as it gets to a kind of a real world scenario with our software. So just another fun example to show you using a drone picking up me. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. So Abraxas, this is our access control solution. Today's current environment with COVID-19, I'm going to say this right now. People do not want to touch things. People do not want to swipe an HID card or present an HID card. They want to touch a PIN code or enter a PIN code. They want to use their thumbprint as a point of access. Those are all, and some people get mad at this, but those are all old school forms of access. That's not the future of access control. The future of access control is a seamless, frictionless, touchless solution. And if anything has sped that process up, it's COVID-19. So what we're doing right now with our Abraxas solution is we're able to integrate with guys like RS2 to provide that seamless and touchless experience when it comes to that accuracy, as well as that authentication process. So a couple videos I'm going to show you. There's two form factors of Abraxas. The first form factor of Abraxas includes a tablet device. This is a tablet device right here on the left-hand side, if you guys can see. This is actually BP, British Petroleum, my client in Houston, that's using this. When I play this video, all their employees have to do is obviously walk up to the tablet. We recognize their face. We send that command through our weekend interface, and that obviously that access control system is the one that's actually doing all the work. So consider Anyvision as a reader. We are not the access control solution. We are essentially just the authentication reader. We send a command through a weekend interface. That weekend interface then sends that command to an RS2 platform. RS2 is the one that actually physically unlocks and locks the door. So a fun example like that, you can see how fast it moves and how fast and seamless it is. What's cool about this too is the Abraxas Point also includes a 3D embedded sensor, which allows for liveness. So you can't spoof the system with a picture or image or anything like that, or a 3D mask. It's kind of doing already a two-factor authentication process, right? So for one, it's telling you who this person is, but the second piece of that is telling you, hey, you're actually a real human being. And I told me I allow you to have access with a real human being. So a lot of different ways it does that. And you can also compare that, if you want to match it to a third layer, like, a HID card or entering a PIN code or what have you, you can do that process as well. So the other example, I spoke about the New Orleans Saints. If you guys are football fans, this is Alvin Kamara. We recognize his face. We send that command, unlocks the door. Seamless, frictionless, touchless. And you see how fast that is. Keep playing that back because I think my network got a little out of hand for a second. All right. So yeah, so that's that's a fun example I always show people, just because NFL and NBA players, they don't want to hold on to a card. They want to present a badge. They want to present a thumbprint. That's what the Saints Pelicans had. They had these biometric thumbprint readers. You guys can see here on the forever to register a thumb. Two, when it's summer outside in Louisiana and it's 105 degrees or whatever it is, Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara, they don't want to come out of practice and put their thumb on a reader. It's just going to burn the hell out of their thumb, right? That wasn't really convenient for the players or the staff, the Saints and Pelicans. They wanted something more seamless. It's exactly what we provided them, with our solution. So fun example right there. I'm going to go into the next slide. This is Abraxas CCTV. We're hooking up to existing cameras, which also has liveness, which I'm going to show a video about the liveness, which I think is the biggest selling point because no one in our industry can actually produce liveness with existing cameras right now. The tablet device I showed you, the Abraxas Point solution, that's easy because it has a 3D embedded sensor, but taking a camera and putting liveness on that camera, that's a huge value add to a client, especially when we talk about high security environments. So this video here on the left-hand side is showing you Mercedes-Benz here in Fort Worth, Texas. Same concept, right? They're using our software for access control, but for their employees. All their employees have to do is physically walk up to the turnstile. There are cameras placed on this turnstile. We recognize their face, unlocks the door. Seamless, frictionless access is what they wanted. This is what they're getting. So you get that concept. This other video is a fun example. This is a gated player entry for the New Orleans Pelicans. What's cool about this is we're using existing cameras. We plug and play with this existing camera. We have a player pulling up for practice. It's kind of a rainy day. All he's doing is looking outside his car door window. Sure enough, we recognize his face, unlocks the gate. Being able to read people through glass gives us a lot of flexibility, a lot of functionality. Obviously, there are certain variables to make this happen. I would much rather prefer someone actually roll down their window so we get more of an accuracy reading, but I'm stressing the point that we are very accurate when it comes to identifying people. There's a couple different factors that play entail with when it comes to accuracy. Obviously, one is an ideal reference photo. Two, the camera, if it has good WDR, HDR, etc. I know Axis is a great product that we love to entail with just because they have WDR and HDR, which kind of makes our life easier. But we don't need the most high resolution camera. Really, the only optimal resolution size we need is 1080 to 2 megapixel. So that kind of gives us a lot of flexibility there because we're not telling a customer they have to buy a 5 megapixel camera or a 6 megapixel camera. You can have that sweet spot of 1080p 2 meg. That's kind of give us that ideal range to pick up people. So a very fun example to show you guys. And after this, if you guys want to have some of these videos, I'm more than happy to share these videos with you guys. All right, so Liveness, this literally just came out, I think, last week, because Liveness has been worked on by our research and development team. So what's cool about this, like I said earlier, no one in our industry right now can do Liveness on physical CCTV and existing cameras. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So we have one of our research and developers. He's got a picture of himself on his iPhone. You can see that red indicator, meaning you're not a real human being. Then you see the green box on his actual face, meaning, hey, you are a real human. You have that score on the top left as well. Same thing with a printout picture of himself. You see that concept too. This is what sells, guys. So whether a person or an end user wants to have the tablet device that has that 3D sensor, or they want to have a camera because it's just, it's more sexier, or, sexier than a tablet device, it kind of gives you the best of both worlds, depending on what they actually want to achieve. So Liveness is a huge value add right now with our software. All right, so the Abraxas Point, this is the tablet version, the other form factor of the Abraxas solution. This is also, again, BP. It's just on that wall right there. All they have to do, like I said earlier, is to walk up to that tablet. We authenticate the face and also make sure they're a real human being. It unlocks the turnstile. So you see how seamless that is and frictionless that is. Same thing here on the right-hand side. I'm going to try and spoof the system with a picture on my phone. It's kind of hard to read, but there's an X that pops up saying, hey, Taylor, you don't have access. I know this is you, Taylor, but you're not a real human being. I'm not going to authenticate you and send that command, to let you have access. So like I said, this is another form factor, just depending on end user wants and requirements. Some people don't like this because it's not as sexy as a camera, but we do have certain clients that do like this for especially C-level executives and even stadium environments where they have this for the executive suites. So another way to use our Abraxas solution there. All right, so I'm going to turn this over now to Dave Clark on our team. Dave's our expert at access control. He's going to talk about the data flow as well as how it integrates with RS2. So Dave, take it away, brother.
So thanks, Taylor. Yeah, I think the cool thing to follow up on what Taylor was showing you there is we can take, we're basically working off of just a photograph and turning it into a credential or matching it with your existing credentials. So how we drop into the access control ecosystem is we're basically functioning at the reader level. We can import all of your photos and your badge information from the RS2 server, bring it into our server, and then when we see somebody and recognize somebody on a configured camera, that camera is associated with a door, we then use a piece of hardware that translates an IP command into a Wiegand command, and then that goes into the door controller, and then the door controller makes the decision to open the door or not. So you get some kind of cool capabilities with this. You don't have to worry about everybody badging through. If you're doing mustering or anything like that, a tendency, human nature is to hold the door open for everybody else behind you and be polite, but that doesn't get your counts correct. The cameras will count everybody as as they come in, and then people always forget to badge out. The cameras will catch everybody as they exit, and you will get a correct count, probably more correct than you would get today using traditional cards where somebody has to take it out of their pocket and put it into play. So it's basically fairly simple how we drop in. We have the two different devices, be it the standard camera is the preferred and what we've been working with the longest. We have well over 100 doors deployed today for various clients, from what Taylor showed in the pictures there to a couple of MBA facilities, a few other facilities I can't talk about, but it's really a great, what we call frictionless access experience. And now it has the ability to raise that to contactless, because all we have to do is do a little bit more into the door mechanics, make that admit, open the door mechanically. You don't have to touch anything in our new environment where we don't want to physically interact with the access control system anymore. Nice. Another key feature of this is you don't have to worry about ADA requirements. You have a system that's very compliant in height. So one of our customers, you have everything from the coaches and the trainers who are in the 5 foot tall range to the centers. An NBA team are around 7 feet. How do you do, hand geometry doesn't work. Their hands are too big, iris or anything like that. around the eyes doesn't work because they have to go, kneel down to the door to present themselves due to the ADA requirement off the floor, where you're installing several readers. So, and then you can see in the picture here, how this ties in is what we're doing is we're locating our converters right next to the panel in the can, so you get a secured location. So we're well aware of some of the problems with the older Uyghur protocol, but we're only transferring a couple of feet in a secured area. So that kind of addresses that solution. We are working on additional interfaces. Currently, we don't support OSTP, but we're working on adding that capability in the very near future, along with, trying to just possibly talk directly to Mercury and enable more advanced features. But again, it's a pretty simple data flow of, you've got your people and your access control and your badging today. They're coming over to us in an automated fashion, and then we're able to bring people on. So the enrollment doesn't require a separate enrollment reader and a separate process. That's really, besides our ability to function with sunglasses, hats, talking on your phone as you come in, or possibly wearing a mask, you don't have another enrollment process. So if you have 30,000 employees, this isn't another overhead. You can implement this without changing your enrollment today. So I think at that point, I'll open it up to questions. If you feel free to type them in the chat, I'm reading that.
1 second, Dave. Let me show one more slide, and then we'll open the floor back up.
All right.
So last thing I want to show you guys before we do some Q&A. I want to show you some additional highlights that we're working on right now that's coming in the near future. The first video I want to show you is the biggest buzzword right now in our industry is what? Thermal imaging, fever detection, right? And that probably has been the most half-baked solution that you can imagine. There's every manufacturer and their mom is coming out with some kind of thermal imaging solution. And they think that's the one solution that's going to solve all COVID-19 headaches. I think it's a valuable solution, but it's not going to solve all the headaches, right? So anytime that Anyvision does release a product, we are going to make sure that it is 110% bulletproof before we even touch it to the market or even put it in production. I can't stress that point enough. There are a lot of manufacturers out there that put out premature products that do not work. When end users get them, they get pissed off. They feel like they're being used. They spend all this money. And I just want everyone to know that if we're going to release a product, it's going to make sure it's going to work in a real world scenario. So the first video I'm showing you is that Abraxas Point solution with a thermal, kind of indicator on top. So you see that temperature is normal with someone with a mask on. This is using the Abraxas Point solution that well. So you can see how well it reads. You can see how well it reads the temperature that quickly. So this is something that is coming to put a kind of timeline on it. To be safe, I would say at least 90 days, so at least 3 months. And the reason I'm saying that is because we want to make sure, again, this is 110% bulletproof before we actually release it to the market. But I'm showing you guys these quick little videos so you guys can get an idea of what's to come. Same example with this, right? Getting multiple people in the field of view, reading their temperature. The idea here, guys, is the way that we're viewing this technology, the way that we're viewing thermal imaging, we're not telling you if someone has a temperature. If I go run outside in 100-degree heat here in Texas, I come inside, I'm naturally going to have a temperature, right? That's easy. How we're viewing this kind of solution from a different perspective is we're viewing it from a different lens. We want to tell you where did that temperature come from. Is it because you just worked out outside in 110-degree heat, or do you actually have an underlying infectious virus or disease that's actually causing that virus or that temperature? So different lens, different approach that we're viewing the market. The idea here is we are a computer vision software house to be able to use existing kind of thermal cameras. That's the idea that we're approaching with the market when it comes to that kind of solution. The last video I'll show before we open it up, I've had some requests for this, especially with everything going on. So we talk about PPE gear or OSHA gear, people that have to wear masks and have to wear glasses before they actually enter a building, manufacturing plants, what have you. This is kind of what's coming ahead. It's going to show you, hey, you need to wear your glasses. Hey, you need to put on a mask. You need to wear your helmet. You need to put on your safety vest, whatever the use case may be. This is kind of what's coming. It's obviously reading the face. It's telling you, hey, access granted because you have all the right materials on. So any kind of glasses, etc. So just another way to view safety and compliance laws, especially with certain regulations by state right now with each local governor in the state. They're all requiring, certain requirements. So just another way to look at our software from a different perspective. Same thing for access control with this. So like I said, this is coming, not something I can take off the shelf and offer today, but it's coming in the near future. I would say at least 90 days out to offer this.